Initially, the emission system problem, power may be reduced warning in your Honda vehicle means that there is a problem with the catalytic converter, with the oxygen sensor, or there is an exhaust leak. So Honda engineers coded this message to show you this problem. But this may happen, but at 100,000 miles plus mileages. And if your car is younger than that, if it doesn't have a lot of miles on it and you still see this message, it means that you have one of the common problems, one of the common glitches, let's say, in the system that causes it. And first of all, this is the EVAP system problem. EVAP is the evaporative system, and actually the breathing system of the fuel tank in your car. And in Honda vehicles, it's known to be pretty faulty. It's especially common for Honda cars starting with 2018, when they started using the capless systems, so no fuel caps. If you have the fuel cap, you can actually retighten this fuel cap and maybe the problem will disappear on its own without even inspections. But if it's the capless system, the problem may be with this capless system or with the EVAP system, EVAP canister and the EVAP valves, which is not that easy to locate and solve, but the OBD2 scanner will help you identify what's happening. So if you're getting the EVAP code, you have two units to look at: the EVAP canister itself with the valves inside it, because one of them may get stuck and you will get this emission system problem warning. Or alternatively, you can have the problem with the capless system and it lets air go inside the tank, and it shouldn't do this. It's also important to say that if you have this capless system problem, or maybe you have this EVAP system problem and then you start the car and it disappears, maybe you will just need to ignore it for some time and see if this stops bothering you after a month or so, because there is no fix for this. And in dealerships, they will start throwing parts at this problem and replacing the filler necks, replacing the capless systems, which are not that cheap. And if your car is under warranty, you can accept this. But if there is no warranty, you will spend thousands of dollars. That's very expensive. Secondly, this may be a software glitch, and you may just disconnect the battery for some time, then connect it back and then see if this problem appears again. So you will reset the codes in the brain of your car, and if there is no actual problem, it was just a glitch, you will solve the problem this way without paying any money. Also, I would check the car for the low battery. If the battery is low, if the battery is weak, you may see any kinds of error messages and warnings, and the EVAP code may actually appear when the battery is low. So load test for the battery is the proper solution. You can check if the battery's voltage drops down when you give it some load, and if it is, you may charge the car, and if it's okay, you just move on. Also, this message can appear on the dash of your car very rarely, but sometimes when the catalytic converter overheats. This happens on very high mileage. For Honda, it's 200,000 miles, 180,000 miles. When the catalytic converter is not doing its job anymore and needs replacement, it may throw you this warning. And also, it may overheat if there is a problem with the engine, like misfiring engine, or maybe there is a problem with fuel, with air supply, and not all fuel entirely burns in the engine. So it comes to the catalytic converter, part of this fuel, and it burns there, overheating the converter. This will be registered by the sensors, and you will see a lot of different codes, a lot of different lights, and the emission system problem may be one of the warnings. I've also seen the MAF sensor, so mass airflow sensor, giving this exact warning several times in Honda vehicles. I don't think it's common, but worth checking, especially if the OBD2 scanner points at the MAF sensor. You may need to just replace it. It's not that hard to replace, and it's not that expensive. I have a strong feeling that in 90% of cases, the problem is with the EVAP system. The canister may be broken, one of the valves may be broken, or maybe the capless system may be broken, or maybe there is the problem with the cap and it lets some air inside the tank. Now, if your car is under warranty, you should remember that this is covered by the warranty, because I've heard several stories that dealership didn't want to replace the EVAP canister under the warranty because they said it's about the water intrusion or about the bad fuel quality. No, if they want to prove that you used bad fuel, they can prove this. They can take the fuel from your tank and analyze it and say it was bad. Yes, if they prove it, it's not covered by the warranty. If they don't prove it, it's covered by the warranty, because this is the part of your car, this is the part of the drivetrain. So if the dealership just claims or presumes that you use the fuel with the water in it or something like that, it still doesn't prove anything, and they still need to solve the problem under warranty.